What's up, everybody? Welcome to the rLounge. Am I the a-hole for not letting my sister-in-law wear my wedding dress? Throwaway because my husband and some other family members know my normal Reddit. My 28 female, husband, 30 male, have been married for almost 6 years now. At the time of our engagement, neither of us had much money, so there was no way I could have afforded the wedding dress that I wanted to wear. Thankfully, my mother is something of a seamstress and offered to help me make my dream dress. We spent over a year finding the pattern, picking the fabrics, and making my beautiful wedding dress completely from scratch. It's the first big project I've ever sewn, so I'm quite proud of it. Making it also brought me much closer to my mother, as the whole project was sort of a bonding experience. It also holds a lot of additional sentimental value as my dad passed away while we were making it, so I sewed a heart-shaped cutout of one of his shirts into the lining of the dress in order to keep him with me on my big day. This dress not only brought me closer to my husband, but my family too. It means so much to me. My sister-in-law, female 23, just got engaged recently and is in a similar situation with her wedding. She just got out of college and started work as a teacher. Between her loans and a relatively low salary, she doesn't have very much money to pay for her wedding. Dress shopping has been a bit stressful for her, as all the dresses that fit her taste are just so far out of her budget. This all leads up to Tuesday morning, when she called up my husband and asked if I would be willing to let her borrow my dress. She mentioned that it could be her something borrowed. My husband says that he would have to ask me first because it wasn't his to loan out. His sister told him that it wouldn't be a problem, and I'd barely miss it, as it was just sitting in a box anyway. He still said he would have to ask me and forgot about it. He finished his workday and picked me up from my job, and we came home to his little sister trying on my wedding dress and his mom clipping it in the back to fit her better. Seeing somebody else in my dress totally blindsided me. I was stunned and asked what they were doing, and my mother-in-law said that they were planning alterations since sister-in-law is significantly smaller than me. I told them that there is no way I'd be loaning my dress out to anyone. It not only represents my love to my husband, but the bond with some of my family as well. This escalated into an argument that ended in my mother-in-law calling me a selfish bee and leaving with sister-in-law. My husband thankfully grabbed the dress during the argument so they didn't grab it when they left. I was really upset, but thought about it after I had some time to calm down. I don't have any uses for my dress, and I do love my sister-in-law. I feel as if I maybe overreacted and shut them down too quickly. Am I the a-hole? Editing. By clipping, I meant using binder clips to secure excess fabric. They didn't actually damage my dress. Our first judgment comes from Otherwise Window. Not the a-hole. What the F? I might see their point of view in asking if you and she were the exact same size, but expecting to make alterations? Hell effing no. You might want to make arrangements for that to be secured until after the wedding. Edit. I just checked with my wife, who does this professionally. Alterations to a wedding dress would have to be permanent. They could not make temporary alterations for someone significantly and have it fit right for them. The OP responds, my husband said the same thing. He is talking about taking it down to my mother's house when we visit next week. Maddie Kett weighs in next. They aren't just borrowing it and giving it back as is, they want to alter it. It has sentimental value. Not the a-hole, and if they hadn't been such jerks and you were so inclined, maybe you guys could have had a bonding moment sewing her dress. But F them. Also, do they have keys? Get those back. Bring that dress to your moms or friends because clearly those two have zero boundaries. The OP responds, my mother-in-law does have keys. I'm considering asking for them back. Next up from Let Them Eat Hay. Not the a-hole. The amount of entitlement in them is on another level. Also, why do they have keys to your home? The OP replied, they have never done anything like this before. That's partially why I was so shocked. Pat James 904 weighs in, not the a-hole at all. We came home to his little sister trying on my wedding dress and his mom clipping it in the back to fit her better. Seeing someone else in my dress blindsided me. I was stunned and asked what they were doing, and my mother-in-law said they were planning alterations. The total entitlement here is astounding. I am pissed, and it is not even my dress. Look, I am sorry that your sister-in-law is in a bad way financially. However, her doing this after asking your husband instead of you about borrowing the dress and then being so dismissive with it wouldn't be a problem, and I'd barely miss it as it was just sitting in a box anyway, forfeited any goodwill to loan the dress. I swear, if you let her borrow this after I die, I will haunt you. On to the next adventure. Am I the a-hole for exposing my mom and sister? Okay, so I, female 14, have a sister, female 16, who I'll call S. Constantly steals from me and messes up my things. I've tried talking to my parents about it, but they shrug it off and say that sisters do things like that. It's gotten so bad that I have to hide or move valuable items out of the house in fear that she'll break or steal them. 3 weeks ago, I received money from my aunt and friend for my birthday. I was excited because I've wanted AirPods for a while now, and I finally have enough money to get them. I kept the money in a box and put it in my drawer. About a week ago, I wanted to go to the gas station, so I went to get the money, but when I checked, it wasn't there. I went and asked my mom if she'd seen it, to which she replied yes. She told me that my sister went snooping in my room and wanted the money, and my mom didn't have a heart to say no, so she let her take it. I went to my sister's room and demanded she give me my money back. She told me that she already spent it and that I should have hidden it better if I didn't want it stolen. I was livid. I stormed my room and stayed there for the rest of the day. 2 days ago, while out shopping with my aunt, she asked if I had gotten the AirPods that I had been wanting. I told her no and that Mom allowed S to take the money I was going to use to buy it. My aunt was furious and called my mom, confronting her about it. My aunt berated my mom and said I could stay the night with her. When I got home to pack my things, Mom was furious and threw money at me, asking if I was happy now that I made S feel bad. I ignored her, grabbed my things, and left. While at my aunt's place, I received many nasty texts from family members saying I was in the wrong. My dad told me he didn't agree with what my mom and S did, but I didn't have to expose them to my aunt. I've been feeling extremely guilty, and I've been wondering if I was in the wrong. So am I the a-hole? First judgment from Milky Way Real Estate. Not the a-hole. Your sister is a thief and both of your parents are enablers. I'm glad you have an adult who is treating you well. Next one from Laura Milla. My sister went snooping in my room and wanted the money, and my mom didn't have the heart to say no. I'm at a loss for words as to how much of an a-hole your mother is. Not the a-hole. If they didn't want to get yelled at for it, they shouldn't have done it. One more judgment from Diartemisa. Not the a-hole. Good for you that your aunt has taken you in. Your mom is clearly a favorite daughter, and sadly it's not you. As long as your sister doesn't learn boundaries from your mom, she's going to continue and surely will have it hard in life. When she has to learn, she doesn't get everything she wants, and there are actually consequences for her behavior. Your father knew of the behavior of S before, and as well hasn't done anything. I bet he wouldn't have done something now again. He can't stand up to your mother, and exposing his behavior was the only thing you could do, that they realize their acting is wrong. On to the next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my husband that if my family can't come to see my son for his first birthday, then I will be taking my son to see them? Apologies, English isn't my first language. I, female 26, have been married to Joseph, male 33, for 2 years. We had a long-distance relationship, and I moved to his country shortly before marriage. My family only visited us at the wedding, and I haven't seen them ever since. When I got pregnant, they wanted to visit, but Joseph didn't allow it, saying that meeting people coming from a distant might harm our then unborn baby. I got to video chat with them, but not much. When I gave birth to our son nearly 12 months ago, I wanted my family to visit. Joseph said we should wait because having visitors around a newborn, especially from another country, might affect our son's health. A week turned into a month, and a month turned into months. It's been nearly 12 months now, and my family hasn't met my son in person. Last night, I brought it up with him and said I want them to visit for our son's first birthday party. He said there was no need for a birthday party and suggested that we wait till our son is old enough so he won't pick up on words my family says that might confuse him. I suddenly couldn't take it and blew up. I yelled at him, telling him that it's ridiculous that my family hasn't seen my son for a whole year, and accused him of looking for an excuse after an excuse to not let them come. He remained calm and then said that first of all, that's his son too, so he gets 50% say, and second of all, I was being irrational and quite selfish because meeting the family is something that I want, not our son wants, since he isn't old enough to decide. Also said he just has our son's best interest at heart. I again got called selfish for thinking of my own wants. I firmly told him if my family aren't allowed to visit our son's first birthday, then I'm going to be taking my son to visit them. He got agitated and started arguing with me, saying he'd cancel the birthday party if I decided to make it about me, then walked out of the room and hasn't spoken to me since then. I think that I might have approached the issue and handled it the wrong way. He might have felt like I was enforcing my decisions on him without calmly discussing them with him. Am I the a-hole? Our first reaction from Styx Oath. Not the a-hole. Your husband is worrying me. Almost looked like he's trying to cut you from your family. Please be careful and stay in touch with your family as much as you can. Let them come or go see them. Next reaction from Cyrain XD. Wow. Not the a-hole. I can understand health concerns, but this reeks way more of manipulation and control, not a genuine concern for your son. You need to see your family too. He seems to be intentionally isolating you, OP. Please take a critical look at your relationship overall. This isn't healthy. ETA, your family can quarantine in a hotel before coming to see you. Then he has no leg to stand on. One more thought from Tempting Penguin 369. You are not the a-hole, but you would be the a-hole if you stay with this man who is displaying so many signs of abuse. isolation from your family, controlling your behavior, pouting in silence. The fact that you think you're at fault for how you handle this issue is alarming. On to the next story. Am I the a-hole for touching my wife's tampon box? Seems like a petty fight, but my wife is mega pissed with me right now. I was reorganizing the storage room the other day and came across a tampon box. The box was being kept behind some cleaning products in the cabinet, so I removed it and put it on the top of the counter so I could clean out the cabinet. I resumed cleaning and put everything back except for the tampon box. I thought it didn't belong there, so I put it inside the bedroom and left it there. At 1 p.m., my wife got home, went to the storage room, then came back freaking out, asking if I was there earlier. I said yes, I reorganized and cleaned the storage room, and she got upset asking about her tampon box. I told her relax, it's in the bedroom inside one of the drawers. She rushed into the bedroom, stayed there for a few minutes, then came back yelling at me for touching her stuff. I asked what she meant, touching her stuff. I was just cleaning and came across the tampon box, which I had no idea why it was there in the first place. She berated me about touching her stuff, no matter what it is, so she won't have to go looking for it. Then said I should have just left it as is, which, to me, was ridiculous because she did not need it right then, so what's the big deal? She got irritated and called me an a-hole for arguing with her about it when I'm in the wrong. I said no, I do not think that what I did justifies her yelling at me because it's not like I threw the box away. She argued some, then stormed off, and is still upset about it till this very hour. I get she's big on privacy and not having her stuff touched, but I think she overreacted. Am I the a-hole here? Edit. The storage room is next to the bathroom. Edit. I've just read a few comments and I don't know why people assume there aren't tampons in the tampon box. Anyway, this had me baffled, so I'll check the box and get back to you with another edit. Our first response comes from Firm Pomegranate 246. Info. What was really in the box? Why was it hidden in the back of the cupboard? ETA. Has there been any update yet? What was really in the box? I need to know. Next thought from NomNom83 was taken. As a woman, my immediate suspicion is that she is hiding something. The overreaction, not having them in the bathroom in the first place. Every woman I know keeps her open tampons on hand in the bathroom, storing them behind cleaning products. Cleaners tend to be in tall bottles. Tampon boxes tend to not be tall, so it would literally be hidden. It's odd. Of course, that's all circumstantial, so maybe there's nothing to it, and some poor woman in desperate need of tampon was just at the end of her frayed menstrual rope. Next thought from Water, Fire, and Stones. My dude, are you under the impression that people change their tampons in the bedroom? Edit. I'm very happy for anyone who has found their bliss storing sanitary products in their bedroom, but I don't feel like that applies here when the wife has the designated spot already, next to the bathroom, and we know of no reason whatsoever that it didn't work well other than her husband thinking it shouldn't be there. On to the next story. Am I the a-hole for not picking a side when my two sons argue? My son Ben came out as bisexual a couple of years ago. Most of our family accepted him. Although I know he disliked some of our actions when he came out, we are still in contact with familiars or friends that didn't accept him. We tried to be as supportive as we could, and a bit after he came out, he introduced us to his boyfriend. He was a really sweet guy and clearly loved our son. However, about a year ago, some rumors, apparently spread by my other son, James, said that he used to be a woman. We didn't believe it, but eventually Ben confirmed that his boyfriend was trans, and I admit it was quite shocking and hard to process. This also kind of ruined the relationship between our sons. Now to the problem itself. Yesterday, we decided to have a small gathering with the four of us, me, my wife, and our two sons. We ate a delicious meal, we talked a lot. In general, we were having a good time. I could tell that there was some tension between our sons, but I thought that they could handle it. Then I decided to ask Ben, what was his boyfriend doing now? To which James replied, yeah, what is she doing? This immediately angered Ben, so they started insulting each other. Luckily, I managed to change the subject and tell them to calm down before they started an actual fight. After James left, Ben confronted me about this. He was angry that I didn't defend him or at least say something to James. Now, I agree that what James said was rude, but it was Ben who insulted his brother and worsened the situation. So I don't think it would have been right for me to defend or pick a side, but he didn't see it that way. He told me that either you do something or I won't visit again, which hurts me a lot. Since then, I have not talked to either of them directly, but apparently the rest of our family is choosing sides. Ben is still very angry at me, and although I understand why he was angry at his brother, I think he is being unreasonable with me. Our first response comes from Calvc. James isn't rude, he's transphobic and homophobic. You're the a-hole. Raise your son better. Next thought from Woods Witch. Right, James is being antagonistic and intentionally creating issues due to him being a transphobe, and OP is completely dismissing that. OP, you're raising one of your sons to be a disrespectful little crap who starts fights due to bigotry. And for what? What purpose did any of that serve save for causing a problem? Discipline your kid. Or else don't act surprised when Ben tosses you all out of his life, which he'd be completely right to do. You are not supporting him whatsoever, and you're hand-waving away James's awful behavior because you just don't want to deal with it. You're a parent. Start acting like it. You're the a-hole. Paris Hilton 2 closes us out. You're the a-hole and a terrible parent. You picked a side, the homophobic side, and you act like you think you're neutral. Stop lying to yourself.